Now, we're about to have this beautiful conversation over here, and we have Stephen Nasai Boidi, who's a digital marketing consultant.
Yeah.
And Charlie,
the conversation is about something fascinating. It says health tech revolution. And like,
what the hell is
Nasai, what is that?
health tech revolution?
Nasai, everybody, how are you?
Good morning, Kuku. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year
Happy
to
New
you.
Year. Many happy
We're
returns.
excited to have you here.
Yeah.
And so let's get right into the conversation. What on earth is health tech, and why is there a revolution?
All right. So over the last few years, almost every industry has been touched dramatically by technology.
Yeah.
I mean, the explosion of technology, whether it's AI, robotics, or whatever.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about health technology, we're talking about how healthcare is embracing technology of different forms too.
Okay.
But it's now at a speed, at a pace where, I mean, we're beginning to call it a revolution.
Okay.
Driven largely by two main factors. We need to make healthcare accessible to as many people as possible. We know even in developed countries there's a shortage of healthcare personnel and all of that. Plus, we also want to be more efficient. So with technology, we can be more efficient, more accurate with a lot of the things that we do. And so that's essentially what it is. We've got a video that will summarize some of the things that we can get into it. So let's watch this video.
This makes a lot with the video.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense because I've experienced the virtual reality. I've experienced that you have to wear the gadget, and it's like you're walking in space, but you're seeing the thing quite close to you.
Yes.
If you're dealing with health, the doctor is close to you. That is virtual reality. So I've experienced that. Then I've experienced the telemedicine, where if I have to speak to my doctor, my OBGYN outside Ghana, she's not here. How do I communicate or engage her? So definitely I'll have to put my machine in front of me and then be able to have a proper conversation and get to the bottom of the health, the precision and the medications that have to be given onto me. Then she passes them through the email. So I can understand.
So we're embracing
this.
all these technologies, but
I
these
can
are
understand this.
These have been around for a while, so these are pretty basic. Just that in Ghana, we haven't embraced them properly. But we also saw wearables there.
So
all these watches and all these gadgets and stuff. And I often say it on this show that the proper way to use them is to wear them constantly. So it tracks everything.
The data.
And you can share the data with your, health professionals so they can be able to advise you. Whether it's diabetes or whatever. We've got apps and all those things there. So that's another level. Now we're going to talk about a couple of things that have really been introduced and taken it to a level we call a revolution. So last year we saw generative AI. The common one was ChatGPT. Now they describe it as it's crafting personalized healthcare journeys for all. What it means is that, and let's put a caveat here, it's not making it, the tools that are there, not ChatGPT, but generative AI related, technologies that are out there are not for individuals like us who are not medical, but are for people who are informed. Well, like we say it, and who are professional, because like we often say it. Not everything that comes out of every response you get from your prompt is really valid. You need to validate it with the knowledge and experience that you have. But with these, it means you're exposed to a lot more. So you sit in front of the doctor, you have these tools, you can input some and prompts into the tools, and it can be able to inform him better to be able to deliver the consultation that you need. So that's one level of it. Okay. We've also seen what we call robotics, for example, being introduced. And we're going to, there's one called Moxie. We're going to watch the video in a bit. Now, Moxie, we know in Ghana, for example, we call Japa. All our nurses are leaving now. But in some hospitals in the States and elsewhere, for example, over the last 2-3 years, there's been the introduction of robots.
Yes.
To deliver services that
Food
normally
and
nurses
that.
would do. Let's watch this video by Moxie.
We are so excited to welcome Moxie to Christiana Hospital. We love our nurses, and our nurses need help, and Moxie is here to help.
In order to allow nurses to work at the top of their license, we have to find different ways to replace all of those things that nurses are doing today that you don't need a nurse to do. We don't need humans to be going to get stuff when Moxie can do that for them.
And they're known as cobots. So the idea is they're not made to replace any workers or caregivers here, they're made to assist. Caregivers can then go to a kiosk and say, I need Moxie's help on this task. Moxie then leaves its charging station or moves from its waiting point. It'll then go to that location and either pick something up or go to a location to fetch something and bring it back.
Right now, Moxie is delivering medications from pharmacy. It's taking things from units to other units like belongings, taking things like medical records, lost and found.
I'll distribute this right away, thank you.
Moxie's going to make my job easier. Moxie will give me the opportunity to have more time to do the things that I used to do as a nurse.
It makes it much easier. It definitely decreases my stress because I don't have to be running downstairs to pick up patient belongings, to deliver things, or waiting for meds. I know it's coming right to the unit.
Things that can't go through the tube station, like insulin, they come up to the unit a lot faster.
The more time nurses spend with patients, the better patients do. And so this is a tool to keep nurses next to patients as much as possible.
So Moxie presents a lot of potential, and we have a big opportunity to really study that and move the science forward around robotics and how it can really support nurses.
So this is really groundbreaking technology for nursing and for hospitals. So we will be helping to develop this workflow process and the software over the next 3 years.
We see a bright future for Moxie here at Christiana Care, as well as with all health systems. So we're making sure we're at the forefront of that.
I'll say wow.
Yeah, very interesting.
Because I have seen the Japanese one deliver food.
Yeah,
but I haven't.
There's one actually somewhere in Jolu. There's a restaurant there.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Is it? What's that? Okay, no promotion.
So we already have robotic services happening in Ghana.
Yeah, I've seen it. I mean, I'll go to the restaurant.
Okay.
They actually are partners. The restaurant at what you could that is it? And that station where you've got before you go to Perez Chapel.
Yes.
There's a big there's a restaurant there.
Oh, okay.
There's a cafe there. They've got that. Anyway, let's come back.
Wow.
How fast is Moxie in an emergency situation when I need blood transfusion?
That's a question I wouldn't know now. But the key is that, like you said, it's a cobot. So if you imagine the long hours necessary, putting in, it's something they are doing just routine stuff, go and fetch this, we bring this. Moxie is there to help them so we can optimize the performance of these, healthcare personnel. And that's what it's supposed to do, really.
You know what I find interesting, though? So I like the fact that mundane stuff that you would have an individual running up and down is non-technical, precision things. But go pick this, go drop this. There's a station down the corridor. They need XYZ, whatever. Those things the robot is doing.
Yeah.
But in the robotic world, there's also robotic surgeries.
Yes. So that's another level.
Which is a complete different level. And
we
we actually had the privilege of following a robotic surgery that took place last year in Ghana. Right here in Ashaiman. There's a team led by a Ghanaian doctor. In fact, Christian Chekata, one of our cameramen, was on the beat on that one. And we actually filmed, robotic surgery.
Robotic surgery.
Yes. So you're not, it's minimally invasive. So the robot is going
precise.
in very precise.
Yeah.
So the great thing about that, they said that in surgery, the bigger the cut, the more dangerous, it is. So the reverse is also true.
Just to emphasize the need for it. And I think last year, or one of those previous episodes, we discussed smart healthcare with Kokui and the rest. But here, there are several cases where there's a consultant that sits in the room, and there's somebody on the call. I mean, administering a procedure, attending to somebody.
Okay.
In this case, he can be remote and then continue the remote
guiding the whole
to the
procedure.
surgery. And we need that a lot more because there are very few consultants here who can do some of the things at the level that we need them to be done.
Yeah.
So that's a very good one.
For me, I think
it's beautiful.
It's a major intervention that we need because it then saves us. Think about it like this, right? If you can afford to have certain high quality, high level machinery in Ghana and have trained staff to use it. Think about that cost vis-a-vis the cost of flying people outside to do surgery. You know, and all of that.
Because I remember at the UGMC, we had, UGMC had to fly about 7 doctors, surgeons for heart and brain surgery. So if we had that robot here, if we had Moxie here to be able to do the robotic surgery with the cost of flying all those 7 surgeons into the country, housing them, paying them and all of that, I'm sure the pricing or the cost would have come in very less. So I think Moxie, it's beautiful.
And we need more of those. I mean, there's another one that, I mean, we can talk about, which is personalized and, I mean, more digitalized healthcare records. Now, the advantage of that is that you're able to kind of have a database and be able to track the health record of the individual. Now, if I went to, let's say, see a consultant and they give me a prescription, they look at my age, for example, and say, okay, you need to take this dose or whatever. But the other molecular details of my body, that may be different from somebody my age. Probably because of different things I've been eating, and these records allow the doctors to be more precise when it comes to prescriptions and administering healthcare. So we need to have more of these. What we have in Ghana is that, well, some hospitals have them on computer. They have like a database that tracks. So, so the hospital I go to, they are paperless.
Very paperless.
That's fine. But they are not shared in the clouds. They're not shared with other
facilities.
So they may refer you to a consultant at, let's say, Kolebu. They would need to print or do something.
Print it, they'll hold document out, the full
because
file,
Kolebu is not linked to the system here.
Which so I think now Ghana Health Service needs to look at digitizing the entire system. So that if you plug into the Ghana Health Service system,
it is easy.
Then everybody who's plugged in, you can do referrals by just digitally accessing people's files from different facilities.
The caveat though is that once we do that, we need to train people properly and have this culture of inputting the data. Because if we don't update the records, we'll be working off outdated records and wrong.
The culture of maintenance in Ghana is already a problem. So if we are able to let go of that canker, then I'm sure if we do the digitization, it will.
But Elaine, it's not even like a new thing, right? Because DVLA is working digitally. Passport Office is working digitally. We already have systems
just a cultural
that are working digitally anyway already. So I think that it's just about taking the institution and drilling down and making sure that the entire institution has gone digital properly. You know,
proper digital adoption. And that's also like IoT, what we call like Internet of Things. So for example, I mean, gadgets that ordinarily should not be connected. Now you have everything connected. So for example, we can even regulate the supply of medicines, I mean, blood and all those things. So you can be able to see from a virtual terminal, see what's going on and be able to do that. So all these things are happening. These are basic things that we need to start. This is what we need to start from in Ghana. Elsewhere, they're at a higher level, but in Ghana, we need to start embracing these things.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us.
It's been a beautiful conversation.
Awesome. And I say, how do people get in touch with you if they want to find
look
more?
For Atnase on X.
Okay, super. Atnase
look for, say it again.
Atnase
on X.
Yes.
So you can get Stephen Nanase Boedi, digital marketing consultant. You can get him at Nase. It's on Twitter. X is Twitter.
Yes, that's the one.
X is Twitter.
We don't say Twitter again.
We don't say Twitter again, so we say X. So that is where you can get him. And we've been having a beautiful conversation with him on the revolution of health tech.